Now then, welcome to a quick guide to using Google Classroom for teachers. This is going to be a beginner's guide, and it's going to show you how to set up a Google Classroom and some of the key features. To begin with, you need to make sure that you are signed into Google Chrome or your Google account, with your work email address. That will give you access to Google Classroom. I put Google Classroom on my bookmarks bar, but you can also find it over here on the 9 squares where all of the apps are. So if we click on Google Classroom, if you're not signed in, it will ask you to sign in and you use your work email address. That gives you access to the whole jazz. All right, so this little plus icon up here is the thing that we're looking for. If you've never used Google Classroom before or no one's invited you to a class, this screen will look slightly different, but there will be a plus icon that essentially says join a class or create a class. What we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to create a class. So click on that and add your details. Normally, I would add my subject and I would add my actual classroom, and I would give a classroom per individual class, not per subject, but it's up to you how you choose to do it. Once you create a class, it will come up with the loading screen, which will be known as the stream. And the stream is what you see when you first log on to the classroom, and it's what your students will see when you first log on to the classroom. From the stream, you can set assignments, set notifications, set quizzes. You can use it to communicate with students, and you can use it to make announcements. So this is what it looks like. You can alter it any shape, way, or form you want. Let's begin with joining or getting students to join your classroom. The simplest and easiest way to do this is to click this button when you have all of the students in front of a computer in your class, and it will show you the code. Now, earlier when we pressed the plus button, you'll have noticed the icon that said join class. You get your students to click on join class and enter this code. All right, you can make it full screen as well. And when they enter that code, they will become members of this group, and they will be listed up here under people. So you can also add teachers. If you want to add a collaborative teacher, you click the invite teachers button here, type in their name, and they will come up immediately because you're all part of the same network. That gives the teacher access to your classroom and lets them set work as well. You can also invite students if you want to do it that way, type in their names individually. But as I said, it is far easier just to click on that button and share that code with the students. If you don't have the opportunity to do this in the classroom, just get the students to write that code down, and they can do it at home or they can do it on mobile phones if you allow them to use mobile phones in the class. So all of this is customizable on the front screen. You can change the title of your classroom if you wish, and you can change the theme and the photos if you want to. So select theme. Find something that is suitable to your class. For example, if you teach English or history, you can have some icons and whatnot in there. And there are plenty of others as sport and arts. And you can add any of these you want. Let's click that music one and select class theme. And this will change. And now it's suitable to your classroom. Or you can simply upload a photograph, any photograph you like. That could be useful if you're doing a specific topic. Say if it's a topic on the Romans, you might want to put up a picture of Hadrian's Wall or something. Entirely up to you. Let me just move myself. Okay, so this area, the stream, is your main place. This button here, share something with your class, is useful if you want to just create a simple announcement. All right, so hello folks. Here is some info for today's lesson. You could do that, and then you can add whatever you want. You click the paperclip to attach a file. All right, you can drag and drop from your computer, or you select files from your device and it'll go into your normal desktop. All right, and you can add whatever you want into there. So for example, let's have a look. There's a picture of Richmond. I might choose, if I'm doing a history unit on Richmond Castle, to upload this and ask the students to analyze what this means, what it looks like, all that sort of stuff. You can add stuff directly from Google Drive. You can add YouTube videos. You can either copy the URL into it or search for it directly in there. And you can add links to websites. So once you've decided and once you're happy with everything here, you can click post and it will appear immediately. Or you can schedule for this to appear at a later date, which is quite useful if you want to set homework in advance, but you know you have some students who will do it all straight away. It does happen. So you might schedule that to say set on a Friday, and then you could set it for the next Friday. And when you click on it, it just comes up with standard date and time. And when you do that, you can just click schedule, and then don't worry about it. It will automatically upload it onto the stream and send an announcement to all of your students that there is a new thing for them to look at. So if we click post, it will appear automatically, and that's what it looks like. Students can click on it and they get to see the image as well. All right, so a bit of a misty Richmond Castle thing going on there. And you can edit if you need to, delete it, or copy the link. Students can comment. I usually create a rule that students aren't allowed to comment on the front page unless I specifically tell them to. And one of the useful things you can do on this front screen is these two arrows mean reuse. All right, so you can reuse something you've used in one class and send it to another class, which is a really useful addition. Because as you can see, I teach a number of different year levels and a number of different classes within those year levels. If I forget when I'm sharing something to click multiple classrooms, so I didn't show you that before, but if you go to where it says 4, you can select multiple classrooms and send the same announcement. If I forget to do that, then I can go to the reuse icon and reuse it then. You can also select particular groups. So when you have students in your class, this will come up with a list of all your students. If you only want to set extension work for differentiation or to try and meet the needs of the higher learners, you can select key kids to give them specific work that the other guys won't get. So that is how you share something on the main screen. Gets a little bit more intuitive when we click on this second tab up the top called classwork. And you can assign work to the class using this tab. If you go up to the icon create, you'll see these list of options: assignments, quiz assignments, questions, materials, and reuse posts again. And you can also label all of your topics, all of your posts with different topics. So for example, if you are teaching, this is a class for Buddhism, for example, you might create a label for Theravada Buddhism. So every single post you make that's relevant to Theravada Buddhism, if the students want to revise that, they can just check that list of topics. It's kind of like hashtags. So let's have a look at these in turn. The assignment is pretty straightforward. You give it a title, and then you give the instructions for your students, what they need to do. And if you want, you can give it a score value, okay? It's entirely up to you how you do it. You can set a due date, and you can create a topic for it, like I said before. Due dates are really handy because the students know that they have to complete it by that point. If we were going to set a paper, setting assignments is really useful. Let me go just find something random. Okay, what's this? Right, AQA overview. We'll upload this PDF. Imagine this was a test paper. So you've already got it on Word. You don't want to reinvent the wheel or retype it. You just send them this test paper. But imagine you want every student to have a copy of it. So they can either view the file by clicking this drop-down menu, or you can get the students to edit the file. Probably won't work with a PDF, but would with a Word document or a Google Doc. Or you can make a copy for each student. That's what I generally do. If you then assign it, this will send the assessment to the students, and they will receive a notification saying they've got an assignment and when it is due and all the instructions of what they need to do. And you can check on it by going into it and seeing how many have handed it in and how many is being assigned to. Say you have 25 students in your class, the assigned number will say 25. And if all but 5 of them hand it in, then that will go down to 5, and that will say 20 who have handed it in. You can view the assignment and the details on this page. This one's really handy because it comes up with the students' names and a little thumbnail of their work in this section, and you can tell who has handed work in and who has not. All right. What they need to do is they type it all up, they do what they need to do, and then they click send or hand in or turn in, and that work will come straight back to you, which is really useful. One of the things I love about Google Classroom is the fact it's integrated to Google Drive. So if you click the folder for Google Drive, what it'll do is open up Google Drive and you will see all of your students' work in there, organized by their name. Obviously, this is a test group, so there's nothing there at the moment, but I'll show you one of them later. And if we get to a stage where we can do the offline folder, then you can just go into your normal file system on your computer, like so. And when you click on Google Drive, if it's synced up, all of the kids' work will be there offline as well, all automatically backed up, which is really cool. All right, let's go back. We'll go back into the classroom and you see your assignments there. And we'll go back into classwork and I'll show you some of the other stuff. So let's create a quiz assignment. Quiz assignment is really great. Same deal, but it gives you a blank Google form for you to play around with. So if you click on that, it will open up a Google form and you can enter in all of your questions. You can do multiple choice, you can do short response, you can do selections and drop down menus and all that sort of stuff. So you create your quiz, all right, your test quiz, and you can have sample questions. All right, so I'm an RE teacher. Who was the Buddha? Dead simple. And we can put Siddhartha Gautama, okay, and spell his name right, that'd be great. And if we want, we can add other answers, all right, so Siddhartha, all right, Goat Mama, and those are our options. To make it automatically marked, we spend a little bit of time in creating answer key, all right, so that is my correct answer, and I'm going to reward it 1 point. And there we go. That's organized and ready. So if we go back to editing the questions, we see that it's ticked there. And when we're done, because it's Google Drive, it automatically saves. You see this where it says all changes saved in Drive. Happy days. We can click off that and go back here, and our blank quiz will be there. And we give the instructions to the students. We send that quiz to the students by assigning like we did before. And when it loads up and sends to the students, they'll get the notification again on their screen as it is there. And this will come up. So they will open that. They'll see this test. They'll open up the test. And when it comes up, they can sit it, answer all the questions. And because you've took the time to create the answer key, it will automatically mark it. All right, it's not going to let me do it because I'm the one that owns it. All right, but never mind. If I switched to account, to a different account, to a student account, I'd click on that and I'd click submit, and it would automatically give me my mark because you've already said that that is the correct answer. So that's quizzes. They're really good. It seems like a bit of work, but honestly, once you've got that quiz, you can use it for all of your classes. You can use it again the next term if it's relevant. It's really useful. So where are we up to? Simple questions. All right. So title for your question: who was Mary Magdalene? Never spell that name right. All right. Good old spell checker. Thank you. Answer the question. And students, you can set answers here for students to reply to each other if that's necessary, and students can edit the answer if you want to go back. Okay, you can create short answer or multiple choice from here, and your multiple choice is the exact same as it was on the Google form. So it could be Jesus's mum, Jesus's wife, all right, Jesus's disciple, etc. And you can also set it so students can see the class summary. So if you ask this question, it will come up on the main screen. And what's really cool is when the students are in there, it was Mary Magdalene, they will answer it, and you will automatically see how many students answer what question. You could do this as a starter activity in a computer lab, and you have it up on the screen. The students come in, they log on, they answer a question, and you see in real-time feedback who answers what and where the class knowledge is at the start. That's really clever as well. All right, back to the stream, back to classwork, create. We have question. Material is straightforward. That's just you are giving resources exactly like you would in the normal stream, where you can add resources here and you can post it to the class group, and then you can reuse posts from other classes into this class. This is really useful. I regularly set assignments because I use the ability to set assignments to give each student their own worksheet, like I showed you before, but I regularly forget to do it for all of my classes. So then I come the next week and I'm doing it for a different class, and I realize I don't want to reinvent the wheel. So I find the assignment from the one I already did and reuse it. So that's it, really. That's a general crash course to using Google Classroom. There's so much cool stuff you can do on there. All right, you can jump into Google Calendar and set tasks. So any scheduled tasks will come up on the Google Calendar that is linked to yours. You can see mine's linked to the school, so you see the whole thing there. So if you're using that, it's very useful. If you have any questions or queries or anything like that, by all means, if you work with me, ask me. If you don't work with me, shoot a comment on YouTube. If I can answer them, I will. I hope this is useful. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Cheers.